Hello everyone and welcome to Zanekin's Manga Review. As always, I am your boy Zanekin, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a different video, and this is what we're going to do since we do have an off week next week. Each day I'm going to give you a video where I give you 10 of my list, and this list is the top 100 best characters in One Piece. Now again, best characters in One Piece. This is not strongest. This is nothing of that sort. We are not making a tier chart. I am giving you guys, and I combed through every single One Piece character that the One Piece Wikipedia page has to offer. That's onepiece.wikia.com. If you haven't been there, they have a long list of characters. I looked through and wrote down 600 different characters, gave them a rating based off of how much they were worth, and this is our top 100. So let's get right into it. Starting off at number 100, and we'll work our way up, is Barriet. That's the little monkey boy, the monkey boy. He's our guardian of Zou. If you guys remember from when we went to Zou, they were looking for Raizo the ninja, and they talked about the sounds that he made, and Luffy thought he heard them. Well, as they're climbing up on the elephant, with their lovely drawing, as they're climbing up on the elephant, all of a sudden you hear that same sound, and we see a monkey falling from the elephant, almost knocking Luffy and crew off. Could have been death right there. I know it's crazy to have him at 100, but the little monkey cracks me up. He is the watch guard for Zou. He's managed to stay alive despite the fact that Jack came and everything else. And just the faces he makes, the role he serves, and the comic moment that he gave us was just, it was a good moment. It is hard for him to come in at 100. There's so many people I had to take off the list, but he gets the benefit of being a recent character. I just love his character design personally, and he serves an important purpose in the One Piece world. All right, moving on to number 2. Can't spend too long on each of these. Panda Man is our 99th best character in One Piece. Now, for those of you who really follow the series, you know who Panda Man is. Panda Man shows up in every single chapter of One Piece. It's in the background. It's an ongoing joke by Oda, but Panda Man is in every chapter of One Piece. How do you can't top that. And if you go and look at his fan art, and I'll have this up on the video when I get to the editing process, but Panda Man is a legitimate looking guy. It's very funny that we have something like this no matter what the situation is. He serves a lot of levity to the series and kind of keeps the tone that I think brings in a lot of fans into One Piece. And to me, it's just an amazing thing. Anything like that the writer would be willing to continue to stick with is obviously important to the series in its own right. All right, coming in at 98th, and we're burning right through these, but this one will take me a little bit longer. Again, this is another character that likely gets a boost from being a more recent character to the series, but I think that Big News Morgan's one of the leaders of the underground and the writer for the World Economic Times, which is the newspaper that is constantly distributed around the world by the seagulls, or the birds. Morgan's himself is a bird. He's an interesting character from, I think, maybe the 3 frames that we've gotten to see him in so far. But his role to the One Piece universe is just massive, and it's just going to expand even more and more. The one thing that I agree with some of my fellow YouTubers is that Morgan's will be one of the biggest takeaways from this arc at Whole Cake Island, as far as spreading information, finding out some truths in future events, because he's not going anywhere. We're not going to lose the newspaper. We'll probably get something about his devil fruit ability, has to do with being a bird and everything else. Maybe he's a mink, which would be even crazier to have yet another connection to the minks. So, on to number 97, we have Aladdin, even though it's spelled Aladdin. I think Aladdin's an interesting character to me because he's very stoic, which isn't uncharacteristic of a lot of the fishmen that you actually like. If you think about it, a lot of the fishmen characters that you like throughout the series, they're very much like Jinbei. They're serious. They have an honor about them. They take a certain responsibility to their roles, and they're just very dutiful people. Aladdin's one of those. I think it says something that Jinbei trusts him enough to take over the Sun Pirates. He's essentially the leader of Fishman Island now. As far as force-wise goes, he'll be important to the rest of this arc as well. I know that they're bailing, but it will be important whatever he does. Maybe they go and save Zeph over there. It'd be such a far trip. That's the whole thing about Zeph being in trouble. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But Aladdin's a great dude. Second to Jinbei, who I love. He'll be on this list. You'll see him eventually. But that's all I got for Aladdin. All right, moving forward. Number 96, we have Vinsmoke Yonji. Now, this was hard to do because if you look at the Vinsmoke brothers, they're all very similar. There's very little differences. I put Yonji as the bottom of my list. I do love all the Vinsmoke brothers. I think amongst him, he's probably the weakest based off of his interaction with Sanji and everything else. When we first met him, I guess that he was significantly younger than Sanji until we found out they were all quadruplets. And he's just a character that doesn't particularly vibe with me, but I have to respect his ability. I think that his character is humorous, if nothing else. And I think out of all the Vinsmokes, other than Reiju, he's probably the most tolerable, if that makes sense. He's terrible like the rest of them, but he's not the worst. But again, not the strongest. We kind of got to see him as a stepping stone and an example of the abilities. And I don't know if he'll serve much of a role moving forward. On the 95, our 95th ranked One Piece character is Vinsmoke Niji. I know. I have another Vinsmoke back to back. Not a great choice maybe to some, but to me I think these characters, like I said a moment ago with Yonji, are very close to each other on my tier list of characters that are both awesome and important to the story. And that's what this is. These are the best characters. I actually like his hair a lot. He's got an interesting character design. He doesn't look too goofy like some things that we get from Oda. He isn't the main brother, but he's very interesting. I think, again, his abilities are definitely respectful. He's either on level with Sanji or close enough, and if Sanji's close enough to be in the monster trio, then I think that we have to show some respect to Vinsmoke Niji. And moving forward, we have... We're moving right along. We have our 94th ranked character in all of One Piece, Vinsmoke Ichiji. Okay. So I ran through the three brothers right in a row, but what you have to understand is all these characters are so new to the story that it was very difficult for me to justify putting them much higher on this list. Maybe later on in the series they do more, but I don't see us really seeing these guys for much longer. He obviously gets the top spots amongst the brothers, other than Sanji, because he's the highest one. I think that his power is going to be amazing. If it's not on level with a Sweet Commander, then I'll be really surprised. I think they'll have to work together at the wedding, and he'll be a great character to watch going forward. Now again, and this is why these guys are so low on the list, if anybody has a problem with that, these are characters that are literally handicapped as far as emotion goes and character progression. They're just never going to be these amazing characters that some people might want them to be. They've got a cap, and we know Reiju's a little different, and maybe all of them can break away from it or something. And there might be a beautiful moment with that. But at the time being, I see no future for these three brothers, other than being interesting footnotes in the story of One Piece. So, that's why they're a little lower on the list, but at the same time, they are impressive enough that they had to make it to the list. Now, coming up, and I'm really not actually a big fan of this character, but at the 93rd rank, we have Jesus, or Jesus, depending on where you're from, Burgess. And I'm not but this is my problem. I'm not a fan of a lot of the Blackbeard pirates at all. They've never clicked with me. I don't like Blackbeard. I don't enjoy the concept of him. I don't like the opportunist that he is. I don't believe that he deserves to be where he's at. And I understand as part of his characters that he's not supposed to be this character that we're all head over heels in love with. I have a hard time. And Jesus Burgess, or Jesus Burgess, I think it's difficult to respect him too much. He spent so much time being a jobber in Dressrosa. He just got destroyed. He served the biggest purpose he served to the story, and this is a huge purpose, and this is why he makes it on my list. Listen to this now. Jesus Burgess makes it onto the list because of what he did to the Revolutionary Army's base. He served Well, we don't know what purpose he served. We've gotten some misinformation as far as that goes, in my opinion. Fake news! But Jesus Burgess, he was able to bring Blackbeard's group to attack the Revolutionary Army. I'm not sure what gain there was from that. But he served a big role in that fact, and he'll continue to serve sort of a foil role as we go forward. I think maybe he'll fight one of the minor Straw Hat characters. He should just be jobbed. I think if you saw the way Sabo handled everything and Luffy, and I don't see him serving much of a role moving forward, but he will be around, and he has served a role already at this point. Moving forward, and we have 2 more for this video, guys. So we have Sentamaru coming in 92nd. Now, some of you might not remember who Sentamaru is, and I had to do some digging myself. The name did not strike out at me, but if you look at the picture of this guy, you know exactly who it is. If you are a fan of Naruto, then you are aware of what the Sharingan is and how it's got the 3 commas that spin in a circle. That's pretty much what this guy is wearing on his shirt. He's a big, giant, I would almost say oval-shaped dude who serves as the bodyguard for Vegapunk, who is the most prominent scientist in the world. He's been name-dropped throughout the series. The moment that we see Vegapunk is going to be a ridiculous live reaction from every YouTuber that exists that covers manga in any way, shape, or form. And this guy is his bodyguard. And we've seen him with the robots of Bartholomew Kuma, if I can talk right now. But we've seen him with the Bartholomew Kuma robots. He's been an important character as far as sort of he's setting things up. When we see him later on, it's going to be very important. He's going to be protecting Vegapunk. We're going to find out that probably Vegapunk doesn't even need the protection. Maybe he's got so many weapons and technology or something of that sort. But it's going to be very interesting watching how he progresses as a character. I actually like his character design, despite the fact that he's got a weird haircut, he's got an odd-shaped body, he uses a giant axe. But there's something so much more to him that I just can't wait to see where this story will go with him. Oda will use him in a great way, make no mistake. And to wrap things up for this video, coming in 91st, and again, I'm sorry this took a little longer. I was trying to get it down to 10 minutes, but here's where we're at. Coming in at 91st place to end the video, we have Shakuyaku. Now, Shakuyaku, for those that don't remember, and if I'm saying the name wrong, I'm sorry. I'm not a big anime watcher, so I read it in the manga. I pronounce it the best way I can, and if my friends don't correct me, that's what I go with. But if you don't remember Shakuyaku, she was the bartender when Luffy reached Archipelago. And she pretty much explained to Luffy that he was a part of this generation known as the Worst Generation. She explained the different paths and how they all led there and then diverged from there. And she really did a great job of introducing both us, the fans, and Luffy's group into what this next step of the story was and where things would be stepping up from. Other than that, she hasn't served much of a role. We know that she knows Riley. Or Rayleigh, pardon me. But other than that, we've just seen her hanging out with a few different characters. But she's just an interesting character. She's got an ugly design. She's smoking. She's the bartender. Got a spider on her shirt. Doesn't seem to be anything of any type of major importance. But she's just a likable character. In that scene, if you go back and rewatch it, it's just amazing watching her explain so well all of the things that we would eventually run into. And she did a great job of kind of laying out the roadmap for us as fans, reviewers, and everything else to understand what was going on. So, to recap, in 100th we had Barriette, in 99th we had Panda Man, 98th we had Morgans, big news Morgans. Then we had Aladdin, falling in 97th, 96th we have Vinsmoke Yonji, 95th Vinsmoke Niji, 94th Vinsmoke Ichiji, 94th, 93rd, we have Jesus Burgess, 92nd, we have Sentomaru, and then 91st, we have Shakuyaku. Now, again, guys, tomorrow I'll be releasing the video for we'll do 90th through 81st. Let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. Tell me if you think that maybe one of these characters didn't belong on the top 100. But please hold your opinions. Until I get to the rest of the list, I think you guys will start to see how it sort of shaped out for me. I hope you guys like this video. Please like it if you did. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, when I reach my 100 subs, we'll do our 100 list for 100 subs. I'll be giving out 5 different collectibles from the One Piece universe to subscribers who like and comment on my videos. So you guys have a good night. Stay awesome.